What is going on? Welcome back to Founders Fire. My name is Iggy Odighizuwa. I am the founder of CharlieAI.io. And in this video, I'm going to be continuing a series on just documenting how we are taking one of our brands to $1 million a month in cash collected. So the cool thing about this is the last video that I did is I went over building out an AI-powered lead management system. And as I'm documenting this, these brands are powered by Charlie, which is our AI revenue automation platform, and it automates your lead management. When I first recorded the previous video, this brand that I was talking about, I think I recorded the video 8 days into January, and they were about $145,000 collected. As of recording this video, that same brand that I was talking about that's powered by our lead management system is currently, let's filter it from the 1st, and I'm recording this as of the 23rd. So from the 1st of January to the 23rd, you can see that brand is currently sitting at $414,000 in cash collected, which is pretty cool, right? So you're watching me as I'm talking about the things that we're doing right now. Like, we're implementing these same things, and you're watching us build a $1 million a month cash collected company, right? So these things that I'm talking about, they're not just like theory or fluff or some made up nonsense by some random guru you've never heard of, right? So this company is powered by our lead management system. They don't have a single human setter. They currently have, I think, 6 or 7 closers, and we're on pace to hit another record month. And what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to make some adjustments in February to be able to essentially stay on track to do $1 million a month. Now, when we're going about building this thing out, how do you essentially engineer those kind of outcomes in order to be able to do so and get the results that I'm talking about? You've got to be able to forecast the future of the business. And the way that you do that is you have to know your numbers, and you have to have really good revenue operations, and you have to be able to essentially kind of predict what are the inputs, and then how do we engineer the outcomes that we want? And do we have capacity to hit the outcomes? How many hires needs to be made? All that good stuff. So what I want to do is kind of walk you through how I ultimately put together our sales quota and think through the production that's needed from every single person on the sales floor. And then from there, once I know what the quota is for each person, and then what the quota is for the team, right? We need to chunk it down. We got to figure out what the quota is for each person. And then that rolls up into the company-wide target. And that target informs how much needs to be spent on marketing, and what the inputs from marketing needs to be, and what the outputs from the lead management system needs to be, and then what the performance needs to be for every single person on the sales team. So when you do that and put all those things together, it's very, very cool. It gives you stability on inside of your business. It gives you the ability to forecast, budget, all that good stuff. So it's pretty cool to be able to document how this company is being built, and the work that's being done behind the scenes, to be able to make that happen and just kind of share it with you in real time. It's easy to be able to essentially share after the fact, but it's cool to be able to like document in real time with you guys and just show you exactly what's happening, right? In order to build a 8-figure organization, you're going to need to know your numbers, right? And if you don't know your numbers, you should be tracking your numbers, right? You got to be able to know your numbers. You got to be able to know the inputs. You got to be able to know the outputs, and you got to have everything really dialed in. Like, you got to know your numbers. I can't understate how important knowing your numbers are. And the cool thing is that this will be my 6th 8-figure company that I've built since 2020. So I haven't, not to toot my own horns, but I know how to get to 8 figures. I don't know how to go from 8 to 9 figures yet, right? That's the next level up that I need to accomplish. And that's what I'm working on building with Charlie. My main focus as far as the product that we're building right now. Like the goal is to turn that into a 9-figure company and eventually potentially exit for hundreds of millions of dollars. And I'll be documenting our journey on our way there. It's a radically different business than I've built before. And it requires a different set of skill, a different amount of just eating pure glass. It's been absolutely wild. So let's go ahead and do this. Let's pretend like we're starting from scratch and we want to get to $1 million a year, right? So the way that I like to do this is, in order to get to $1 million, I need to know what the unit economics need to be and where I need to be with the business. So I start with a chart like this, right? And this is more of like a grid, right? This is like the sales target. If I want to do $1 million a year at 10K price point, I need to know how many deals need to be won, the win rate, the meetings taken, the meetings booked, and MQL targets, right? So marketing qualified lead targets. For marketing qualified leads, we turn those marketing qualified leads into sales qualified leads that get booked. From sales qualified leads that are booked, how many of them are taken, so on and so forth. So if I want to do $1 million a year at a 10K price point, that means I need to sell 100 units within that year, right? Which is roughly, if I'm going to give myself a little margin for error, which is roughly going to be about 10 units per month is going to be the target, right? Currently, for one of our offers, they're closing at a 32% rate with the operator as the founder is like the person who's like taking the calls. So I'm going to discount that down to 25%. So let's say the win rate needs to be 25%, 10 units per month is the target. So at a 25% conversion, that means they need to be taking 480 calls per year and 40 calls per month, right? So they need to take 40 calls per month, which would actually put us slightly above that 10 monthly target. Again, we're building levels of redundancy here. So 40 calls per month is taken. That means 960 calls need to be booked for the year and 80 calls per month booked on the calendar, assuming a 50% show rate, right? And with a 25% lead to book rate, that means 3,840 calls needs to be 3,840 marketing qualified leads need to be generated for that year, for a total of 320 leads per month, marketing qualified leads generated per month. So what this lets us know is now I've chunked it down into what, from $1 million a year down to 10 units per month, down to 40 meetings taken per month, down to 80 meetings booked per month, to 320 marketing qualified leads booked per month, right? So we chunk that down so that it becomes an inevitable outcome, right? All we have to do is hit this target. So now, once we have our sales stuff dialed in, now I need to map out the revenue operations, right? The revenue operation is the process from turning a MQL, marketing qualified lead, into dollars in the bank. That is it. Other words like lead management, revenue operations, sales operations, whatever you want to call it, that's what it is. It's like how the system that takes a marketing qualified lead and turns it into dollar in the bank when it means the most to you and myself as the business owner. All right. So now I map it out. So from marketing qualified lead, in order for them to be sales qualified, here is what needs to happen. Right? So once we get a marketing qualified lead, here's the additional information that we need to gather from this prospect in order for them to be sales qualified, meaning that they can actually schedule a meeting with a closer. Right? So if you're wanting to prepare your company to utilize AI, you need to have all these things mapped out and documented so you can delegate the entire process to AI. Everything short of the closer talking to the lead is 100% delegated to AI. So that means that company that I just showed you that's collected over $400,000 from January 1st to January 23, 2026 is 100% powered by AI with some killer closers taking the calls that the AI has teed up for them. right? In order to have an AI powered revenue operations, you need to have this level of documentation. So we have MQLs. The MQLs become SQLs, sales qualified leads. And in order for a lead to be sales qualified, they either need to successfully complete an application or have a triage, right? So if they complete an application or they're triaged in most cases by Charlie, they get triaged by Charlie, and then Charlie asks them additional questions to qualify them, then they become sales qualified leads. And then from the sales qualified leads, then now they're able to, the meeting's able to get booked. So right now, we're getting a 30% MQL to SQL, right? So that means 30% of the leads that are currently being generated are being sales qualified. In fact, that number is actually much higher from what our marketing team is currently doing within this portfolio. That number is actually like, I don't want to say it, it's 90%, right? Like the leads that are being generated are pristine. But we built out the target based on 30%, right? So we just need 30% of our MQLs to be sales qualified. And then from sales qualified, if they haven't booked a call on their own yet, Charlie is filling in that gap and booking them in for a call. And then once they're booked in for a call, if that call isn't taken, Charlie is filling in that gap and rebooking the cancellations and no-shows. And currently it's rebooking them to the tune of 60%, right? Is rebooking 60% of cancellations back onto the calendar and 20% of no-shows back onto the calendar, all right? And then if the meeting is taken, but they don't close and the offer was made, then they get added to the deal lost, right? And then what happens is we're actually going to run a reoffer campaign, like it's launching tomorrow as of recording this video, to help us engineer a record month. So all those deal loss go to a separate Charlie use case that we plan out as far as like what the messaging needs to be. And those re-loss, like those deal loss gets a sales fail reoffer use case that drives them back to the closer's calendar so they can make the offer. And these deals, the close rate on these deals when they get a good reoffer campaign is like 70%, because those deals they already know the price. They already know the price. So when we run that campaign, we can be direct, we can tell them the price, and we can tell them the discount that we're willing to offer them to get back onto the calendar. And those deals are like 70% close rate on the deals that get booked from that specific campaign. So now you can see, and then from there, 25% win rate. Right now, the team's sitting above almost like a 32% for this particular offer. So this is the revenue operations that we map out, right? So we got MQL, SQL, meetings booked, meetings taken, offers made, deals won, deal lost. And then Charlie is filling in the gaps at every stage to turn it into an absolute machine. So now what happens to those MQLs that never become sales qualified? And what happens to the sales qualified leads that never book a meeting and become a client? Those go into our middle of funnel bucket. And inside of our middle of funnel bucket, this is where we bridge the gap from MQL to SQL to meetings taken. So these middle funnel buckets have webinars, promos, email nurture sequence, case studies, masterclass, challenges, etc. Whatever you have, we're creating assets for the middle of funnel leads. All the leads that are marketing qualified go into one bucket. All the leads that are sales qualified go into one bucket. And those middle of funnel plays, we start closest to the money. We'll focus on nurturing the leads that are sales qualified first, because the friction for them to go from that particular promo to the calendar is non-existent. There's no friction. Those leads, at any point they say they're interested, Charlie can book them onto the calendar. For the marketing qualified leads though, those leads need to be triaged still. So they go from that particular promo, they go into a triage conversation with Charlie. And then from there, now that they've been triaged, now they're sales qualified, and then they can get booked in, right? So there's two processes, two branches that are taking place there, right? So you can see our middle funnel. We've got a couple buckets. We've got our MQLs, we've got our SQLs. Now we're essentially everyone who hasn't taken the meaningful action of having a call taken, not just a call booked, having a call taken, meaning they booked the call on the show. Everyone who hasn't done that step is added to the middle of funnel if they've been in the pipeline for more than 30 days. So we give our top of funnel Charlie use cases, the speed to lead use cases, an opportunity to nurture, qualify, follow up with those leads and get them onto the calendar. And then any of those leads that haven't taken the action that we need from one of those two buckets get rolled into a middle funnel list. And then that middle funnel list is getting a targeted promo campaign that's going to them. And we're planning this out periodically. So that is the process as a whole. So right now, what we're currently implementing is we're putting an end to, for that particular company, we're putting an end to the Black Friday promo campaign that the team has been running. And we're going to be announcing that that promo is coming to an end. And we're going to be sending that announcement to all the SQLs that have taken as sales calls, specifically all the SQLs that have taken the sales calls. Nobody else is getting added to that list to get that blast. All right. So, but this is the level of engineering that is required to essentially print money within your business and give yourself a license to print. All right. So this is what I do for the companies that I'm consulting with. Privately, it's not one of those things where I have a bunch of accounts that I'm doing any kind of consulting work with. It's very, very small amount of accounts. But inside of Charlie, anyone using Charlie, I'm there doing a weekly optimization workshop where you can ask me whatever questions you want. Currently across the portfolio, we're spending over $1 million a month right now across the portfolio, generating over, right now, I think we're almost at 3 million cash collected per month across all the portfolio accounts that I'm personally involved in engineering, revenue operations, and all that good stuff for. So if you found this helpful, I'll make more videos like this. We'll be documenting just some of the different stages that we're implementing as far as this company goes. But for you, if you haven't taken the time to reverse engineer the months and the year that you want to have, and you haven't taken the time to map out your revenue operation and map out your lead management, you need to get my lead management playbook. It is 100% free. I go in depth into the frameworks that you need to build out a lead management and actually have something like that ready to go for your business. And then I'm going to be working on a revenue operations framework that goes out some of the stuff that you just saw me go through that I built out for this organization here. I'm going to be putting together a framework and a playbook for that. So if you're interested in that, when that is ready, go ahead and comment Rev Ops, revenue operations, or in the comment of this video or post, give me your favorite money meme or money gif. Till next time, stay calm, change lives, and have business on your terms. P.S. If you're not using Charlie, what the hell are you doing with your business? What are you doing? Click somewhere, go to charlieai.io, book a demo of Charlie. It will change the way you fundamentally run your business. I refuse to build a company without using Charlie as a core part of our go-to-market and as a core part of our revenue operations and lead management. I just refuse to do it. I refuse to take on a private consulting client if they are not willing to implement Charlie into their revenue operations and lead management. I'm not willing to do it simply because how efficient the damn thing is. We can quite literally engineer the outcome that we want with no human error. With no human error. It's mind-blowing to me that anyone will be building an entire sales team just backed by people, right? I just want the best closers on our sales floor. And I'm going to let the machine do its thing to pack their calendar day in and day out. And that's been the most effective way I've seen to be able to take a company from 0 to 8 figures, right? Hands on the most effective way, coming from a guy who's about to do it for the 6th time. So listen to wherever you want to on doing the thing, but I'm in the trenches about to do it for a 6th organization. And that's how I'm doing it. So if you find this helpful, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Again, remember, stay calm, change lives, and have business on your terms. Peace.